Hi, I'm Campbell Brown. I'm the CEO and co-founder of PredictHQ. Today I'm going to be taking you through a really quick introductory demo of our platform. And so we're going to dive straight in there. So we're now in our control center. Think of our control center as a centralized hub to access anything from your API tokens through to doing a search on events anywhere in the world, building notifications, to doing a correlation analysis using our Beam platform. So if we just jump straight in here, let's go to our search feature. And so this is where you can search any events all across the world. Now, in terms of the categories, I'm going to go and select school holidays, public holidays, conferences, expos, concerts, festivals, and let's just say sports, and hit done. You can also refine that all the way down to our labels. We have around 400 plus labels that you can use to refine that. For example, if you just want to see MLB games, you can refine it all the way down, not just all baseball games. We have our ranking in here. So this is our proprietary ranking, or how we predict events are going to impact big or small in a particular area. So we'll just leave all those on at the moment, and I'll take you through an example when I show an event soon. In terms of when we're going to search, let's just go for this weekend, the 7th to the 10th, and hit done. And then locations. So let's choose a few locations. Let's go Fresno. Yep, we want to add that. Let's go Los Angeles. And we can select that there and hit done. You can also do a radial search. So if you've got a specific location you want to put in there, you can, and you can go, look, I don't want to see events in this specific radius. You can also search on status. So we can show you all the active events, or if you just want to see where basically demand has probably evaporated because an event has been cancelled, we can do that too. But let's just focus on the active events for now. So if we just go and hit search, this is now going to return a list of events. So as you can see, there's 211 events in this particular area. We have a list view, we have a map view. So if you want to get a better understanding of where these events are happening, you can see the events up here in Fresno, or you can see the events down here in Los Angeles as well. So all the way down. Then if you want to go and a calendar view, so you can look at this from a week, month, or even year view to see when these events are falling on what particular days. Let's just go back to list view for now. Now, the other request we get is like, well, I just want to get my hands dirty. I just want to see what this data looks like. Well, you can easily do that as well. So you can come over here. Any search you do, you can actually just hit export, and you can export these events out. So via CSV or via JSON file. So if you just hit export, that's then going to bring up the window, and you've got whatever you want here. And that's going to then come in your inbox, and you can come over here and download it really quickly. So going right into it, let's go into one of these events. So you can see all these different events down here. You can quickly view the details also, but we want to go into one specifically. So let's go to Cleveland Browns versus the Chargers. Now look, for better or worse, I am a Cleveland Browns fan. I love them dearly, despite my accent as well. I do love football. But let's have a look at this event really quickly. You can see over here, you've got American football, NFL, sports. So they're the labels that I was talking about earlier. You've also got the attendance. So this is the amount of people we predict are actually going to turn up at this game. How do we do that? We stitch that together from a vast amount of information, anything from the teams playing, who the players are, what arena are they playing at, what is the capacity of that arena, what is the historical attendance. So we use our vast kind of knowledge graph to predict how many people are going to be attending that event. As you saw earlier, we also have our ranks. So we know that this is going to be a large one from a global point of view, but also locally based on population density. It's going to be very significant in that particular area in Inglewood. You've also got aviation, so aviation ranks. So we know people from Cleveland are going to be flying inbound to Los Angeles. Why is that important? Well, you think for hotels, they want to know, are they going to see an increase in demand? Or for the likes of Uber, that's where local rank is really important, because they want to know where they can get drivers at the right place at the right time ahead of time. And speaking of time, that's where we have predicted end times, because we collect a vast amount of information in raw format and we put it through our pipeline and we do a lot of cleaning. One of those things we clean is actually predicting an end time. 85% of attended events that we consume don't come with an end time. They don't exist. And that's not really that helpful. So we've actually solved that for our customers. Scroll down, you can actually see, here's the stadium here, so you can scroll all the way down into Los Angeles. Now, the other cool thing is we have viewership, meaning at a county level, we can help you understand where most people are going to be viewing the game at home. So think about that stay-at-home economy. What are people, what games are going to be driving people to go to the grocery store to buy a pack of beer or buy some sausages or hot dogs, or what's going to be driving people to order pizza when that game's on? So you can better understand at a very, very granular level. The other thing we also get a common question is, well, not only do I want to know about this game, but I want to know about that venue. So what's happening in that particular venue? So what you can also do is you can go search on that venue. So if we go to SoFi Stadium, here it is here, we can actually go, well, look, I actually want to look 90 days out. You can look a year out if you like, but let's just go 90 days. And you can see here, they've got around 18 events. So you've got BTS playing in there. You've got the Broncos. And so all that is available within here. Now, if we just go back to our event search, you can see the Fresno Fair there. Now, this is a very, very significant event. And so if we just dive into that particular event itself, we can see the duration of that is 12 days. You can see there's 505,000 people going to be attending. But the other really cool thing, we have recurring events, meaning there are certain types of events that continuously recur. So you can actually quickly go in and see the instances of this particular event. So scrolling all the way down here, you can see the different years at which this has occurred. Now, going right along, if we just go back to our searches, we looked at a few attended events there, but it's not always about attended events, right? There are actually other things that are going on. And so why don't we take a look at severe weather? So I'll deselect that one and select severe weather, hit go. I'm going to search on Ida, and let's go and leave that open. In terms of when it happened, if we just go back to August the 29th to the, I believe, 4th, and hit done, and then hit search. And so what you can actually see are what were the events that were occurring during that time. And as you can see for Ida, you can see where this actually impacted. So we also have something called polygons. And so it's not just about point data for these events, but also what vast areas were impacted by these particular events. So you can scroll down, you can go, right, let's go and see this one here, and view the full view the full details all the way down and see what particular areas were impacted. Why is that important? Well, certain stores may be impacted by the flood, and other stores may not. And again, everything you're seeing right now is available in our API. So this control center is really showing you the things that are at your fingertips. One of those other things as well, particularly if you want to see a flash flood warning, is notifications. And so notifications is a really, really no-code way of getting started to be notified of active events, new events coming into the system, events changing location, events changing date, being cancelled, being postponed, whatever it is, you can build notifications here. And so you can see down here, this is in Wellington, where I went to university. So I've got a little thing around IHG down there. But we're going to create our own configuration right now. But I'm going to create a unique one using our AEI, or aggregate event impact. And so let's just go to a new configuration. So we are going to call this demand surge micro brewery Munich. So I've actually got a favorite microbrewery in Munich, and I'm going to build a configuration specifically around this brewery. Because what I want to know, irrespective of the specific event, I just want to know, is there going to be a large amount of people in and around that brewery? I want to put more staff on, I need to get more food in. If I know there's going to be a large amount of people around, I know traffic is going to increase. So let's use aggregate event impact. What we're going to do is we're actually going to search on the address. So I know that it's at Tal 7. So that's going to bring up an address. That's the one I want to select. Now, do I want to go out 5 miles? Do I want to go out 2 miles? I think people are going to be willing to walk a little way to get one of the favorite beers there. So let's bring that down to, let's go 2 miles. Scroll down, you can select what categories you want, what ranks, what date range. So looking out 30 days, are there going to be any surges that I need to know about, that my managers need to know about, that anyone needs to know about that's working within this microbrewery? And so the other cool thing here is you can set a threshold. So what's the threshold of people I believe I need in that small 2 mile vicinity that's going to generate an ARM? So let's go all the way up to 8,000. So 8,000 people on a specific day, whether it's 2 events, 3 events, 5 events, 10 events, I'll be notified. And if you just click down here, send a digest and then save the configuration. And then you're on autopilot. You've got that configuration all the way down here that you've got ready to rock. Now, what does that look like on a day-to-day basis? So I actually set up a notification for demand surge around our offices because I want to know what days are there going to be a lot of people in there, because I might change the way I go to work. I might not take the car in. I might go on BART. And so on this particular one here, if we go click on view notifications, you can actually quickly see on this particular day, there's AEI of 19,134, and you can go and investigate and go, well, what's going on? So clicking in here, I can actually see that there's an LA Lakers Golden State Warriors happening within a mile or so of our particular office. So that gives me enough of a decision around it. And so that can be any day, any time you like. So actually going a little bit deeper on AEI, we actually have a feature over here called Aggregate Event Impact. So as you scroll down here, you can see it here. It's called Impact. Now what I've got here is actually looking at London. So we're flying from Munich now to London and going like, what has happened this year from January the 1st through to December the 31st? As you can see with all these lockdowns that we're going on, which is data that we also provide within our API, you can start to see the recovery happening, and you can start to see the surging in events that are coming back. And that you can go in here and on any given day, you can scroll down and you can investigate. But let's not investigate the active events. Let's actually switch this up. So let's take that off and let's go cancelled and postponed. Because what I want to see now is what events that have happened over time or that are coming up that I need to be aware of that are cancelled. And so you can see a really large cancellation here on August the 29th. But if you look out into the future, cancellation postponements have really started to drop off. However, in this volatile market, you've got to be really up to play with what's happening. But let's go investigate. So August the 29th. So if you scroll down here to August the 29th, we can actually go and see what was cancelled on that day. What drove down the amount of people that were in that particular area. So here's August the 29th. Click on that. You can actually see over here, whoa, it was the Notting Hill Carnival, right? That's 2.5 million people that weren't turning up in Notting Hill. And so you can also see there the Eagles as well. So that's a huge amount of demand that's shifted. The other question we get often is, well, how do you know what events impact me the most? And so we actually built Beam. And what Beam is, it's a way in which you can effectively upload your anonymized demand data, and we will merge that with our event data set to help you understand what events impact you the most. So if we just go through to this little coffee analysis here, what this enables us to see is, I'll just turn on demand, is this is the demand. So this is demand for coffee. And you can also see what the remainder is. So what is the demand over and above the baseline? And then if you turn on event impact, we can actually begin to see, well, what events triggered that, or were the catalyst behind that surge in demand. And if you just click on that, you can see here that it was Bite of Seattle and an MLS game. You can add notes. So I added a note here. This is a perfect storm of demand at this particular location. So this is just one cafe. The really important thing to remember is things change by location. You know, if there was a Starbucks maybe 5 miles away that might not have seen the surge in demand. So what this helps you to understand is what's happening where and what's actually causing it. But we don't just stop there. So this is a great visualization. It can give you a really quick indication of what's impacting you. But we've gone a step further. So you can actually go and export this information. And what do you want to do with this? You can actually bring this, your data scientist can bring this into their notebooks, whether that's Jupyter or Google Colab. So this has actually been brought into a notebook over here. And so all you need to do, so anyone can do this, all you need is the URL to the CSV of where you've saved it. And then you can hit go, and basically it provides you with an analysis of all the different things that are happening. And so what we can see for this particular location, festivals, sports, expos, they're the ones that impacted the most. What days are impacted the most? And so here's all the things you can do. You can actually turn the community event off, the conferences. And so this is all available, not even in the control center. This is outside in an actual notebook, which makes it really, really easy to help better understand what categories of events should you as a business be focusing on in this particular area. The other really quick way to get started is we've actually got something called an API Explorer. So you can go through and you can choose the different things. If you just want to build a simple retrieve events and put it in a calendar, you can quickly build the code here. What I've done on this one is simply use our Features API endpoint. I'll put in a place ID, which is around San Francisco, for concerts, expos, and sports, and hit run. And it's provided all this code here that I can put into an application. So what we focus on at PredictHQ is getting you up and running super, super fast. And I want to take a second to remember, can you remember that notification I set up back over here? So if we just go back to our notifications and our configurations, I set up this all the way down here, this demand surge one. If you want to actually replicate that, but you want to replicate it in your own platform, we can do that. Because what we've actually done is we've got a vast amount of documentation to help you use our API in any which way. So we have introduction to live TV events, non-attended events, unscheduled events. We have Jupyter Notebook supporting academic events, attended events, live TV events, severe weather. But this is a cool one here. If we just go into the Features API, you can actually go in here and now start building the demand surge alerts. So what we've actually done is we've created an entire notebook for you that can get you up and running. And all you really need to provide is information on the date, the location, and we can do the rest for you. So this is all up and running super, super fast. And what you're going to want to do after you finish this is we'll be passing you over to a more technical guide on this as well. But the key thing to remember here is that PredictHQ exists to make your business more real-world aware. And this is a platform to do it. So enjoy, get started, and we'll see you all again soon.